guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, welcome in. My name is Alana Simone. And so today I wanted to talk about God versus the universe. And I think this is interesting because a lot of people, especially nowadays, they really mix God with the universe, and they really try to make God seem like he is the universe. So it's like, instead of they're being like, oh, well, God told me this, oh, now it's the universe told me this. And it's like, okay, so that's become a popular thing, and like everybody's on the trend and kick with it. So I thought it was just really interesting, an interesting thing to talk about, because it's happening a lot and it's becoming normal. And it's like people are just really indirectly, with like knowing or unknowingly, replacing God slowly, bit by bit. And people don't realize it's the littlest things, just like that. And it's like, oh, well, I sound cool because my friends are saying it. We're just gonna call on the universe. We're gonna call on we're gonna call on something that we live in, and not an actual being. So it's just like, what are we really calling on? Are we calling on the plants? Are we calling on the sky? Are we calling on the animals? Like, because the universe is made up of many different things. So it's like, what are we really calling on when we're saying, oh, well, the universe brought this to me, or the universe did such and such? It's like, I mean, it sounds cool, but if we really dive into it, it's really not the case. And so, I think it's really important that we start realizing that we need to put God back in his place. And yes, it may sound cool, and that's the new trending thing to happen. And everybody's saying like, oh, the universe, all this stuff. But we don't really realize that we're actually, calling on nothing. Because, just like the universe didn't just come about by itself. And, people can try to argue with science and say that, the Big Bang happened and, stuff just magically fell into place. Which, I mean, if you believe that, then that is good for you. But when you believe something different and you actually believe the actual truth, you realize that there is a higher being that created, all of this stuff, the universe, people, everything. And that higher being his name is God. And so once we start realizing that, we start to look at things differently. And even when things start slipping through the cracks, like how it has been, and stuff becomes cool and trendy, people who recognize the truth recognize that, although this is cool, I know that the universe can't bring me anything. I know that God can bring me things, and we can work together with that, but the universe itself cannot bring me anything. And so I think it's important for us to recognize that and realize that, and knowing that sometimes, people are calling on things and they're wondering why things aren't happening in their life, why things aren't changing. And, one of the main things can be, if you're calling on the universe, you're not calling on anything. So I think it's really important that we realize that we have to call on God, because ultimately he's the one who created the universe, and he's the one who created us. So when we're in time of need, or when we know we're looking for something, he's the one we really need to go to. And, a lot of people can argue with this type of subject, and, that's fine. But, the truth is what it is. And God is the same yesterday, today, and, forevermore. So it doesn't change. The only thing that changes is when people and humans comes up with like these brilliant ideas and try to make things so cool and, so hip and all this stuff. And we just go along with it, not realizing that we're actually, not like, we're causing like things to get out of place and get out of order. And so I think it's important that this year we start calling on God rather than the universe. And I promise you, like, it's really going to change your life because, you know, even me, I found myself, and sometimes there was like this song, I think it was by, who was it? Ty Dolla $ign or whatever. And it's like, how does it go? It's called The Universe. And it's basically like he's saying, like, the universe wants me to win. I'm happier than I ever been. And it's a song featuring Jhené Aiko or whatever. And let me just tell you, your girl was singing it and vibing with it because why? It was a catchy song, and usually that's how we catch on to things, and things start like changing, like, and we start, you know, moving towards different things because usually it's in a song, or usually people start saying it and you just start going along with it. And so for me, I was like, okay, like, yes, this song is a whole vibe. Like, I'm sitting here jamming. But I had to stop and realize that, okay, Alana, like, I mean, it's cool. It's a good song, but I should not I found myself realizing that, you know, I need to make sure that I still know the difference and know that I'm not, because sometimes we can get caught up in things and it's like all becomes cool, and then we don't even realize that our mindset or our way of thinking is starting to change. And so, you know, we start calling on, now it's like my mind's starting to change, and it's like, okay, you know, the universe, and then it starts slowly but surely replacing God. And I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to do that. So, you know, for me, I know how to now create a balance, and it's like, okay, like, I like that song, so it's not like, oh, I'm gonna stop listening to it, but I do know how to separate the two, and knowing that, yes, it might be a cool song or whatever, but making sure I'm not replacing God with the universe. Because, I mean, it sounds cool to say, but less cool can sometimes be like not I'm trying to think of the thing, like, not that cool, you know, but what I'm saying, because it's like I'm calling on something that God created. Okay, I mean, that's cool, right? I guess. But yeah, so you know, I think it's really important that we just remember who created us and who we need to call on and who we should call on. And, you know, and that is God. And so ultimately, if we want results, if we want answers, if we want things to come into our life, yes, we can attract it. And yes, when we pray, things can be manifested into real life. But we have to remember that it's not the universe is bringing these things. I mean, we can, you know, try to tell our mind that it is, but in reality, it's God. And so, you know, just keep that in mind this year, and make sure that, you know, you're calling on God in your time of need. You're calling on God in your time of struggle. You're calling on God in the good times, in the bad times, like anytime you're calling on him. And just know that he is available and able to help you, you know. So I think it's really important for us to remember that, because, you know, we're sitting here like, God is sitting there like, okay, so they calling on the universe, something that I created, instead of just coming to me, right? Like, how that work? What they doing? Like, he's sitting there really like, really? That's what y'all want to do? And so, you know, and I'm only saying this because I found myself getting caught up in that. And so once I got out of that, I'm like, okay, no, like, let's be real. Like, I need to call on God, because ultimately that's who's going to help and save me. The universe ain't gonna do nothing for me. Like, the universe is a something that we live in. It's a something that holds things. It's not something that can you know, heal my heart. It's not something that can you know, put me in positions that I never thought I would be in. It's not something that can that knows me from beginning to end. It's not something that I can go to in my time of struggle, in my time of need, and, you know, many different things. The thing that I can go to is God, and the thing that is actually going to help me without a shadow of a doubt is God. And so once you realize that, it's like, okay, it might be cool to say, oh, you know, the universe, but is it, I mean, how cool is it when reality hits and you calling on the universe and getting no reply? Or you calling on the universe because you in trouble and there's all you hear is silence. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I think it's important that we know that God is still available for us, and God is in the highest position. He rules over all, and he created the universe. So let's not forget that he created it. And if he created it, then it's really not that superior, because if it was that superior, the universe was that superior, then it would have just created itself, but it didn't. So let's remember that God is still God above all else, and really call on him this year, really connect with him this year, really reach out to him this year, and know that he is available and that he will help you, you know, far better than the universe will. So I really hope that this video encouraged you today. And you know, just think differently about things. That's all I'm here to talk about on my channel. I like to be real and I like to talk real stuff. And so one of this is real. Like, a lot of people, like, I talk to so many people and we get caught up in saying like, oh, the universe, the universe, the universe. And we're really not realizing sometimes that we're really replacing God, and that's not really something that we want to do. So let's start putting God back into it, and I guarantee you your life is just gonna like change so drastically, because it's like now you're actually gonna get responses. Now things are actually gonna start working in your favor, and you realize that it was God all along, you know. And so I just thank you so much for being here. I really hope that this started to make you think, or just, you know, whatever you wanted it to do. If it didn't do anything for you, that's okay too. But I'm gonna share what I want to share regardless. So I really hope that this video encouraged you somehow, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.